Okay, this lesson is 1.3, Order of Operations. To evaluate expressions involving more than one operation, mathematicians have agreed on a set of rules called the order of operations. Let's look at those rules. Number 1, you must evaluate expressions inside grouping symbols, which could be parentheses, braces, brackets. Number 2, evaluate the powers or exponents. Number 3, multiply and divide from left to right, meaning whichever one comes first as you're reading the problem from left to right. That's the order of which you do it. And then number 4, add and subtract from left to right, again based on the order it appears going from left to right. So let's look at our first example. We're going to use order of operations. Okay, so we have our problem here. First thing that I did is I wrote the expression. I'll abbreviate that. I wrote the expression. That's my first step. So here we have our problem, and we begin to simplify it. Okay, what do we need to do first? Well, going from left to right, there are no parentheses, so I can go right down to number 2. There are no exponents, so I can go down to number 3. As I read the problem from left to right, I need to multiply or divide. So the first thing is I see 50 being multiplied times 2,000. That's going to give me 100,000. Okay, add that, but we're doing multiplication and division first. 7 is being multiplied times 64,100. We have to do that first before we add. That will give us 448,700. Okay. 6 is being multiplied times the 106,700 number. That's going to give us 640,200. And then plus 198,900. So what did I do here? I multiplied. Now I've taken care, there's no other multiplications, no divisions. Now we can go down to step 4, which is to either add or subtract in order from left to right. And these numbers are all being added, so we can just find the total, which will give us 1,387,800. And how did I get this answer? I added. So grouping symbols, we can have sometimes you'll have just one set, or you can have multiple sets. You have to always work out the problem from the inside to the outside. So you see here I have some parentheses. We would do those first. If there are brackets, they're usually outside of the parentheses. We would do those second. And then if we have more, they usually are indicated by braces. Okay? But you work your way from inside to the outside. So let's go on to our next example. We're going to use grouping symbols to evaluate the expression. So this is 8 times the quantity of 17 minus 2.3. That will be, I have to do what's in the quantity first. So this is going to become 8 times 14.7. Have to do what's in the parentheses first. Now, so here I subtracted, and I'm abbreviating in the parentheses. It's okay if you want to abbreviate in your notes too. Now I can multiply these two and I'll get 117.6. How did I get this answer? I multiplied. Okay, let's go on to our next one over here. Alright, so for this problem, we're going to rewrite this fraction so that as a typical division problem, we have to resolve the numerator first. So that'll be the quantity of 14 plus 6 divided by the quantity of 12 minus 7. And what did I do? I rewrote, or I'm rewriting as a division. Okay, then we can simplify them. 14 plus 6 is 20, and 12 minus 7 is 5. What did I do? I evaluated within the parentheses. I evaluated, and I'm abbreviating, within, oh, you know what? I'm just going to say boom. Then we simplify. 20 divided by 5 is 4. How did I get that answer? I divided. Okay, let's go on to this problem here. We have grouping symbols, we have the parentheses, and we have the brackets. What do we need to do first? We always work from the inside to the outside. So we've got to do what's in the parentheses first. Okay, so then this is going to become 5 times 36 minus, what is 13 plus 9 is 22. So this will become 36 minus 22. What did I do? I added within the parentheses. Okay, now let's continue. We still have a grouping symbol. We have to work this out first. So this is going to be 5 times, what is 36 minus 22? That would be 14. So how did I get this line? I subtracted within the brackets. Okay? And then we multiply 5 times 14. Now we can do that operation, which gives us 70. How did we get the answer? We multiply. Okay, so now we're going to evaluate variable expressions. We're going to evaluate the expression when x equals 2 and y equals 5. So what does that mean? Where I see x, I substitute in 2. Where I see y, I substitute in 5. So let's go to this first one here. This is going to become 4 times the quantity of 2 plus 5. What did I do to get this line? I substituted. Next line. We have to do what's in the grouping symbol first. So this will become 4 times 7. How did we get that? We added within the parentheses. So I'm going to say add within the parentheses. Then we go ahead and multiply. 4 times 7 is 28. How did we get 28? We multiplied. Need you to always write those steps. Oops. Next problem. Same thing. So this is going to become 3 times the quantity of 2 plus 5 squared. What did I do? I substituted. Order of operations say that we do what's in the grouping symbol first, what's inside the grouping symbol. So this will become 3 times the quantity of, what is 2 plus 5? That's 7. And the squared is still there. What did we do? We added within the parenthesis. Okay, then we do powers and exponents. So 3 times, what is 7 squared? That would be 49. So 3 times 49. What did we do here? How did we get this line? We evaluated the power. Okay, and then now we can go ahead and multiply 3 times 49 and get 147. How did we get this answer? We multiplied. Last example. It's a word problem. Have to get a lot of practice doing this. You buy a pattern and enough material to make 2 pillows. The pattern costs $5. Each pillow requires $3.95 worth of fabric and a button that costs 75 cents. We need to find the total cost. So this is our fourth and last example. And the first thing that we need to do is to make sure that we understand the problem. You buy 1 pattern plus fabric and buttons for 2 pillows. You are being asked to find the total cost. Let's make a plan. A very good way to make a plan is by creating a verbal model, laying it out in words what you need to do. The total cost has to equal the cost of the pattern plus the number of the pillows times the cost of each pillow. So now let's turn these words into an algebraic expression. So total cost, we don't know what that is yet. The cost of the pattern, we learned from the problem that it costs $5. So that'll be 5, the cost of the pattern. Alright, plus the number of pillows times the cost of each pillow. How many pillows are we supposed to have? It said 2 times the cost of each pillow. Now, each pillow, it has to be the $3.95 and the 75 cents. So the cost of the pillow is going to be $3.95 plus 75 cents. And so how did I get this line? I substituted my values into the verbal model. Now let's begin to work this out. So order of operations, say we have to do what's in the grouping symbol. 5 plus 2 times the quantity of, what is 3.95 plus 0.75? That'll give us 4.70. And I added within the parentheses. The next thing that we do, we have an addition, we have multiplication. Multiplication comes first. So this will become 5 plus 2 times 4.70, which happens to be 9.40. How did I get this line? I multiplied. And then now we add 5 plus 940, which gives us 1440. How did I get this? I added. So the total cost is $14.40.